Well, good morning everyone, and welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. This is a little bit of a surprise for you guys, but we're back up and running on the trapline. I went out, I was successful on my deer hunt. It didn't take me only a couple days and I got a deer on the ground. I've been done trapping, or wasn't trapping, for 7 days. So I pulled my line on Tuesday and I put my line back out on Tuesday, so on the following Tuesday. So we're gonna be running, I think, somewhere between 10 and 12 more checks. So basically double the amount of time I'm, planned on trapping this season. Has its own kind of issues that are gonna come with that, and we'll get into that in a second here. But yeah, we're up and running. I got kind of a late start yesterday because I kind of put most of my stuff away, or somewhat prepared that if I didn't make it back, I didn't want to have stuff sitting all over the place. So I kind of put everything away with the idea that I was done trapping for the season. And since I'm not done, I ended up having to kind of get everything reset up, get bait and lures back in my bag, and kind of get everything, and as far as that goes, ready to go, get traps loaded up. So but yeah, like I said, we'll go over a little bit. So I got the truck warming up here a little bit. So one thing I'm going to run into this season is I'm going to probably start running short on bait and lure. Red fox urine, that's how much I have left. I've used, less than a pint, short of a half gallon. I had a half gallon to start, and I have 2/3 of a pint left. So yeah, I like using red fox urine on sets. I was a little more liberal with it when I was starting out, with the idea I was only going to be running 12 days, so probably should have been a little more conservative with it then. I put out 27 sets yesterday and didn't use quite a pint. So that means I probably got 25 sets I can make and or remake with the urine I have. And again, try to be a little more conservative with it. So yesterday I did get, even though I got a late start, I did get 27 coyote sets out and 17 raccoon sets. Pretty much Raccoon sets are the same ones, or close to what I had out before. I did a few of them. I pulled, and I'm not going to put them back there, let's put it that way. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll probably be running roughly 17 raccoon sets for the rest of the season. I may drop, a 220 by a culvert here or there, something like that, or if I find a nice trail set someplace, we'll maybe try and drop in, random raccoon set here or there. But imagine we're going to be running around 20. It actually got colder last night. It was over 60 yesterday, and it actually got below freezing here last night. I thought it was supposed to stay around like 40 for a low. So I expected, and still do expect, some raccoon movement in the next few days here, at least basically until like Sunday or something. So 5 checks here. I do expect a little bit of movement from raccoons and skunks. I don't want to be catching skunks, but if I catch them, I catch them. But the main focus of my line is going to be coyotes, fox, badgers, or coyote sets, let's put it that way. And those are typically the 3 animals that I am sort of targeting with those sets. I'm going to pick up occasional skunk, and I'm going to pick up the occasional raccoon in those sets as well. Yeah, so we're going to, I did get 2-3 new locations that I didn't have set before. 2 for sure. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think 2 new locations I didn't have set before. I'm going to set up at least 1 more today. And we're just going to kind of hopefully fill in the line a little bit more than what I had. The crops are off. Fields are worked if they're going to get worked. So I can basically run my full line here. I don't have any coyote sets on ours yet, so that's going to kind of take priority towards the end of the day today. Kind of see where we are as we're going through the line. I started out kind of putting all the sets that I wanted to get in till I got maybe a good third of the way through the line. Then I'm like, boy, I'm running short on time. And I wanted to get at least a few sets in every location instead of just carpet bombing, you know, a few locations and then not hitting the whole line. So I got all kind of the high points hit yesterday. So we're gonna, like I said, fill in some of the sets that I had out before that I didn't get put out yesterday. We'll get some of them in. We'll be adding a couple new locations hopefully today. Hopefully we got some catches for you. Like I said, I got 27 coyote sets and 17, so we got 44 sets out right now. I'm going to stop at my trapping shed. I'm going to try and drop in hopefully 4 mink boxes today. So in this bag here I have the hind quarters from 4 muskrats. I have where the mink ate my muskrat a couple days in a row there right at the end. That's going to be the #1 spot I'm going to put it. And then I don't have a great idea where I'm putting the other 3 right now, but I'll find 3 spots to get them put out before I'm done with the running through the line. I drive by plenty of sloughs. I mean, I drive by 30 sloughs I could be dropping them in by. It's just kind of, I want to put some pocket sets in. The sloughs are all wide open again, and they have been for the last week, of course. You know, I fought ice to get going, and then now I could have been trapping muskrats for the last week and a half with open water again. But I think I'm pretty much done trapping muskrats. I want to put some pocket sets in for mink. We're going to play around with that probably tomorrow is my plan. I'm not going to do it today. I want to get a little more of the coyote line put out today, because the coyote line is going to be kind of my bread and butter. And they take a few days to sort of settle in. I'll make catches on the first day, hopefully today. I make catches on the first day they're there, but usually after like 2 or 3 days, I think your kind of human scent dissipates a little around there. Your bait and lures mellow out a little bit, and I feel like they do get better kind of as they age up to maybe a week old. And then after that, I feel like you need to freshen them back up again. And I'll probably only be doing like 1 maintenance day, probably like Monday next week. Again, I'm going to be running like 10 or 12 checks here. So we're just going to probably do 1 maintenance day in the middle there. I'll be maintaining them as I go if I know they're set off, or if, you know, I may do some kind of random checks of a few of them. That there are some spots I know deer step in them. That I got out yesterday is one spot's kind of notorious for that. So all right, I feel like I've babbled on long enough. Welcome back to the trap line. Like I said, we'll be running for a few days here again. So you guys will have a bunch of extra videos that, you know, I wasn't really planning on having. And as far as the mule deer goes, I didn't take a lot, if any, footage out there. The GoPro just is not set up for taking footage when you're trying to film something a half mile away. So I tried it a little bit on the first scout day. There's nothing really to even show you guys there. But you should have seen a little video. I'll put together something a little bit for you guys so you can kind of see what my deer looked like, that type of stuff. And I did take a bunch of pictures and stuff too. So, but yeah, otherwise, like I said, the mule deer trip was tough. But all right. Like I said, I'm going to stop down. I need to get some more poles for marking coyote sets. I have a few left. I have a few in there, about a dozen or so. Well, I'm hoping maybe to put out a dozen more coyote sets today. So we're probably going to throw in maybe 20 more poles. I'll need one for each one of the mink boxes too, so I use them poles kind of for everything. Muskrat trapping, coyote sets, mink trapping, so they're kind of a staple on my line. So I'll throw in a good wad of them just to make sure I have what I need running through the line for the rest of the season here, and throw in 4 mink boxes and we'll be on our way. All right, everyone. Well, We're well over halfway through the line, I would say. We're probably 2/3 or more, because I'm kind of to the end of where I really was trying to hustle. So I started dropping in, a couple sets here, a couple sets there, just to hit a variety of spots instead of really like carpet bombing them like I normally do. I kind of run the theory that I typically only put one set in a spot, but I spread my sets around, on different fence lines of the same quarter or something like that. So if you want to call that the same spot, there's multiple traps here, but I'm putting more double sets, 2 sets together, but this year actually it's coming down to that I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of double sets unless I have to, because half of my traps are dirty. So either I'm going to have to clean some traps, which I may end up doing, because I'm down to just, I like putting MB 550s out, and I still don't have any on our land, and I'm down to that many of them, so I count 9 in there. And I got the next 2 spots, I'm gonna put 4 of them out. There'll be a double in 2 different spots, and I wanna keep like 4 or 5 for my place, so we're gonna really have to kind of figure out what traps I want to put where. And I do have some Montana number 3s and some Duke 4s that I'll be, filling in. Like I had a set along this fence line over here earlier, and I had an MB 550 there, but I'll probably be putting like a Montana number 3 over there. So I won't be putting it today because I didn't grab any of those. But I do have a catch finally. A second catch. I had a rat caught in a dog proof. Like a rat caught in a dog proof. Oh, I got him back foot caught. And then I got my second catch here. So I did catch a coyote on this tree line out here. I caught a coyote over there. Wasn't the last one, maybe like the 4th or 5th one I caught out of the 8. Was caught over here. They had worked, I put sets out here, they were here like 2 days, then they worked this field, so I remade the sets. The next day I had the coyote caught over there. And then right here what we got is kind of an abandoned farmyard. There's really nothing in here for buildings to put raccoon sets or nothing around. I've walked around them multiple years and there's really no sign. There's no like trails going anywhere where there's any raccoon sign. But this guy right here, I could see when I was driving, the road goes right by this guy's yard. I come from that way and then down. I could see this guy shining. I'm like, all right, we got ourselves a catch. Until I got closer, then I realized what I had. He is back foot caught in my coyote set. So I got a big skunk here. He's darn good sized. He smells just a little bit, but we're gonna do my best to get him dispatched without him spraying. This set kind of was wonky, so I put this trap right back where it was, like literally the same trap bed, and then kind of dug out my hole again and rebaited it and lured it. So I wanted to make a point of that this morning too, and I forgot. So I did that on maybe, I don't know, maybe half, but a good chunk of my sets are literally put right back in the exact same trap beds. There was a couple of my dirt holes were dug out where, a coyote had come and dug my hole open so they could get the bait out of there. I actually backed my trap up on those like 4 or 5 inches further back. So I'm maybe like a foot back from the hole now, but I left that dirt hole dug like it was, and I just threw my bait in the back with the idea that, if they come along, they're gonna think nothing's wrong because I got a free meal there before. But yeah, like nothing to mess with this set, so I dumped it in right in the same spot. It'll actually probably be a better set now after I get this guy out of here, because I actually have some loose dirt. It's real kind of lumpy and clumpy. It wasn't really the best set anyways, so. But nice big skunk. He's got beautiful white stripes on him the way it looks. So yeah, like I said, first catch of the day, kind of first catch of the second half of my season here. Wasn't hoping for this today, and I want to make one more point and then I'll let you guys go. So where I had the rat caught, that's where I caught all the skunks earlier. I had 7 caught out of that 1 yard and then 1 more in my coyote set back behind there. Right at the end, before I pulled my line before, the rats were starting to mess with me. They were knocking my golf balls off every day off my dog proofs, stealing my bait. You know, they wouldn't get it all in the first night, but like I just reset my ball back on. The next night it's knocked off again. There's less bait. So we'll have to see if that continues. So one dog proof, the ball was knocked off again. Another one, I had the rat caught in. So like I said, if that continues, we're gonna have to do something different there, which most likely means I'll just pull those 2 traps, because I can't just keep feeding the rats over and over again. If I pull the traps, I can't catch anything else. So, you know, and if I have a rat stuck in it, I'm not going to catch a raccoon in there, you know, because the rat's plugging it up. So, all right, like I said, we'll take care of this guy and we'll get moved on. Like I said, I got, I'm trying to think, like 9 coyote sets left to check is it. I think I got all the raccoons sets checked and no action other than that, the spot with the rats. And now this guy. I have got 2 mink boxes out and 1 more trail set put out. I don't know if the trail set is gonna do any good, but I kind of think it may be the mink running from one side of the road to the other. So I have a baited mink box right there and I put a trail set there, and where the mink had ate my muskrats earlier. So I'm not gonna put muskrat sets there yet. We're gonna probably give it a few days. I don't even know if I will, honestly, because I've caught like, I don't know if I caught 10, but 7 or 8 muskrats out of that one spot. I might just leave them alone there, to be honest, but I'd like to catch that mink anyway. I don't like him stealing my muskrats, but all right. It's gonna take me a minute to get this guy out of here, and then I gotta run to town quick, get gas. We're gonna add a couple more coyote sets here. Like I said, 4 basically are the next 2 spots. I'll be adding 4 sets. So, and then like I said, we'll just keep on checking. And when we get towards the end of the line, we'll try to keep adding sets in. Like I said, I just got to watch the traps. Like I said, I want to keep some of these MB550s to put out on our land. So I may actually do that this evening, and then tomorrow we'll try to fill in some more of my line here. It was kind of my mistake. I didn't even think about looking to see how many traps I had left. And again, I may take a few MB550s out or dig through the box of the ones I pulled and see if I can find some that look clean, and I'll take the hose and rinse them all off again. I don't know, maybe hang them overnight or something, and then, you know, maybe try and reset a few of them. You know, like basically there was one right here. There was one over on that line that didn't make catches. There wasn't a lot of them, honestly. I mean, there was some, but that didn't make catches. But we'll, like I said, we'll go through. I probably am going to do that, go through, and I'll try and wash a few of them. And like I said, there are a few that I can fill in. Like I'll put Montana number 3 here. In the last stop, I'll put a Montana number 3 there where I had the badger caught out there. I didn't reset that trap yesterday. We'll put a Montana 3 there tomorrow. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna try and get some mink sets out tomorrow too. So some more than just mink boxes. We're gonna try, I got 2 more spots figured out where I'm gonna put the 2 more mink boxes I have in my truck. And then like I said, tomorrow we're gonna try and actually put some pocket sets in. So I'm kinda, where I'm putting the boxes are spots that I can't really put in like a pocket set anyway. And I don't know, so they're just good spots for a box where a pocket set ain't gonna work that well. I have some other spots where pocket sets are gonna be way better in the box, so we're gonna put these where I don't think I can put a pocket set in. If I have to, I can pick the box up tomorrow when I put a pocket set in there, so, or leave it there too. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. But all right, let's get this guy out of here, get moved on. All right, everyone, we're back at home. Kind of a slow day on the line. A little surprising, a little bit not. Nice weather last night. Like I said, it did get a little colder, and I thought, which, you know, might have dampened down the, possibly dampened the raccoon and skunk movement. Apparently not skunk, but the raccoons anyway. And then, like I said, coyote sets, sometimes, you know, well, I mean, obviously coyotes got to go buy your sets in order to catch them. And then, like I said, sometimes it just takes them a little bit to kind of settle in before you start making catches. But I did get a few more sets out. I got 4 mink boxes, 1 trail set, which I think is more of a mink set than anything. It's a trail going from one side of the slough to the, or one side of the road to the other, from one slough to the other. In the same spot that the mink had ate my muskrats, you know, the first time around. And then I added 2 more raccoon sets, just a grass on each side of the road, a little culvert or bridge almost going under the road. I've caught weasels there the last couple years. So I dropped in a couple raccoon sets there. I'm trying to think how many actual coyote sets. It might even be just 4 coyote sets total. So I decided after I caught that skunk, I put 2 in after that, and I put in 2 before that. So I think only 4 coyote sets so far. I just don't want to use all my MB550s there. My sets around the yard here, typically I leave in a little bit longer. Once I pull the main line, I might have them out for, you know, another few days anyway. So it's nice if we do get a little bit of snow or freezing, you know, to have the MB550s can bust through that a little bit better than some of the other traps. Also, like their footprint, the jaws footprint is quite a bit less than like a Duke number 4. You know, Duke number 4 is like 8 inches damn near jaw spread, you know, when it's open, or 7 inches, I don't know, it's obscene. So in my pasture, when you're cutting sod and everything like that, it just takes such a huge hole to bury that trap as opposed to like an MB550. It's literally like twice the size of hole. When I'm, like I said, in the pasture, it's in sod. If on the edge of the field or whatever, like a Duke 4 is fine. We're gonna throw in my other tote. We're gonna probably use most of these straps today. So I got 7 left in here, MB550s. I'd like to put at least 4 of those in my pasture. And then, so I'm gonna do that right away here. I'm gonna hop in my side-by-side and I'm gonna go run around my pasture and get some sets out on our land here. To me, our coyotes here are the most important ones to be catching, especially with the deer numbers way down like they are. So I'm gonna do that here right away, and then I'll grab some of these other traps, you know, my Duke 4s and them Montana 3s. And then I do have 4 more I can put in that are fairly close to home here. And I think I'll try to get those in before dark. It's typically the first ones I'll check. So try and get those, go around and get those put in. And I may use, like I said, the last of my MBs for that. Two of them will probably be either Montanas or Dukes. But the other 2 might be 2 of these MB550s. With that, we're gonna throw in, so I got then 4 mink boxes out. So when I'm done, we're gonna load up, or I might do it in the morning. We'll see how much time I have. We're gonna load up a bunch of mink gear. I'm not sure how many more mink boxes. I might throw in a few more. Again, I put mink boxes out today in spots that I wouldn't put a pocket set in anyway. They're kind of, well, the first place, like I said, where the mink was eating my thing, there's no place to put it. It's all rocks right there, you know, from like them fortifying the road. It's all rocks, so you couldn't even put a pocket set, and then there's no water to drown them. The water's only 3 inches deep there. So all my pocket sets hopefully will be set on drowners with steel railroad plates to drown them. So yeah, like I said, so we're gonna I have a pair of waist waders, and I think we're gonna give those a shot tomorrow, because to put these mink sets in, I'm only gonna be basically right on the bank of the, you know, sloughs. And then I may throw in just a little bit of muskrat gear. If I'm putting these mink sets in, if I can reach out even with waist waders on and drop in a couple muskrat sets right there, I have bait still, I have lure, all that stuff, so I may throw in some muskrat gear. I don't want to catch 100 more, you know, but if I'm already stopping to check some muskrats or mink sets, I could just as well catch a few muskrats right there too. So So yeah, when I get done putting in a few more coyote sets here this afternoon, we're gonna stop by the trapping shed, probably rearrange the truck a little bit, and then like I said, try and get some of that mink gear put in here, and we're gonna try and put some pocket sets in. I know I'm not gonna be good at it. I gotta get bait out. I got some beaver meat and some carp for bait. We'll have to get some of that unthawed so I can get it, because I chunked it all up from some beaver I caught last spring, and this fall I just got, you know, chunks like size of your fist or whatever. More so for my mink boxes is what I originally, but I'd like to do some pocket sets. So I did make some portable pockets as well. So if I can't get an actual pocket in, what I did is I welded a pipe about 8 inches long or so onto a stake. So if I can get that drove into the ground, that will be my pocket with just a chunk of carp or beaver meat or whatever I can get in there in my pipe, and then my trap setting in front of that. So, and I'll try to cover it over some grass or whatever, so all you're gonna have is just the pipe, the end of the pipe sticking out. So, and that will probably be my stake up on the land side, and then like I said, we'll have a plate out in the deep side to drown them. So, trying to think if I got anything else for you guys. We got the catch for the day, just the one big skunk. Oh, almost forgot about the big skunk. He was hind foot caught. I knew it when I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on video when I was filming him for you guys. I had a stickler of a time getting him dispatched. I didn't even get close to him with the acetone pole, and he was on edge, tail up. Even when I was videoing him for you guys, he was on edge. But man, he sprayed, I don't know, half a dozen different times. Like, I didn't even, just normally you get the pole up close to them, they'll kind of smell it or whatever, and it kind of calms them down a little bit. Boy, that almost put him on edge more than anything. And then, yeah, as soon as I got him poked, he sprayed. I couldn't get my pole to inject right, so I had to actually poke him. You know, I stopped and I looked at it. It looked like it was working fine, and then I had to poke him again, and he sprayed again. And I'm pretty sure he didn't get any on me. I don't smell skunk. And actually, I thought I did pretty well getting that set remade. He kind of sprayed sideways to the way because I tried to come in. My pickup was downwind of him, so I wanted to come in more from the side, so if they do spray, the wind kind of helps blow it away from you. And he sprayed more like down the edge of the grass or the edge of the trees there. So when I was remaking it, I felt like I was out of the stink. But so yeah, like I said, just one skunk for the day. We're not going to actually skin him tonight. We'll get him set in the shade. It's going to be warm enough. I'll most likely be catching a skunk or two in the next couple days here, and then I do like to do them as a batch. I'd like to have, if I'm gonna do them and do the peroxide bath and all that, I like to have about 3 or so. If I get 3 to 5 would be ideal, 6 maybe. I don't really want to catch any more, so I'm happy with, if it ends up being just this one, I'm happy with that too. But again, I'm hoping raccoon line picks up a little bit. I don't understand. It was into the 60s yesterday, so it should have been warm going into the night, and it was only 28 this morning, so it's not like it got well below freezing or anything. So yeah, and I think it's supposed to stay warm overnight again tonight. I think they're talking 40 for a low. So if the raccoons are going to move, tonight should be the night. Like I said, we're going to get a few more coyote sets put in. I think I got 31 in right now. Yeah, something like that. And then, like I said, we'll keep adding. I'm going to try and get maybe 10 more in even tonight. So maybe 5 or 6 on our land, and then 4 more, on 2 different spots. 2 right next to each other on one little dirt road, and then on another spot it'll be 2 on 1/4 of land, 1 on each fence line kind of. We're going to dig through it while I'm reloading my truck with mink gear. We're going to look at the traps I pulled and see if I can find a few that look like they did not make catches this year, and then I'll take the hose and rinse them all off again and probably hang them up overnight down there, and then maybe I can have a few more MB 550s to put out. I just don't want to put a dirty trap on a clean set. I feel like you're just asking to get dug up, but again, it kind of depends on how dirty they are. But I think even if I make catches, if I rinse them all off with the hose again, you know, kind of how I normally clean them up and just hang them overnight, I feel like it should take a bunch of the scent off if I make catches in them anyway. But and I'll have to put new stakes on them because I just cut the cable stakes when I pulled them. So, all right, that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, I still got some work ahead of me today, and numbers, it's a numbers game, guys. The more sets I get out, the better chances I make catches. It's just plain and simple. You know, every trap has a 100% chance or 50-50 chance of catching every night, I guess. Either you do or you don't. Well, you get 10 sets out, you may not make a catch in a few days. You get 25 sets out, you catch one skunk. You get 40 sets out, hopefully you catch a coyote every day. So that's kind of the numbers I'm going by. We'll see how that goes. But all right, that's all I got for you guys. We'll see you out on the line tomorrow.